Today, you'll learn how to use your business finances to create more peace at home, how to end the year without the spending sprint, and how to line up your 2025 taxes and your 2026 energy so you can start strong. Stay to the end for 5 money moves that you can make this week. And if it helps, follow the advisor with Stacey Chillemi on Apple, Spotify, and subscribe to our YouTube, Stacey Chillemi Advisor. It helps more business owners and families get real tools. Now, my guest today is Nilsa Santiago. She helps entrepreneurs turn money chaos into family stability. Nilsa, I am so excited to have you on the show today. Say hello to everybody because I just want to jump into it because I am so excited to ask you questions.
Hi, Stacey. Thank you for that incredible introduction. Yes, let's start. I'm ready. Let's go.
All righty. Okay. So you said business finance can be a path to family happiness. Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, you have a business owner, you have an entrepreneur, they have an idea, they have a vision, they have this mission, and they start putting it into motion. But there's a family behind the scene. The mom or their dad is getting home later.
Yeah.
The children need to pay tuition. The refrigerator breaks down. There's all these things that are happening behind the scenes of the business owner's life. And
Yeah.
when they learn to grow a business, to scale it, right? We need the marketing, we need the sales, we need the cash flow, and then we need to start analyzing our numbers. Are we going in the right direction? Am I growing this at a rate that's going to not only create more stability in the business for the team, for the community, but also for the family ultimately, because we
Yeah.
all work for a purpose and it's to serve our customers, to
Yeah.
add value to our customers, to help our team grow, but our family as well
Yes.
is depending on us. And we want to give them that extra. I mean, we're not there all the time, so we want to make sure our kids get the right education or a great education. We get to do a family vacation. And when the refrigerator breaks down, it's not a big deal. You call your repair person and you fix it and you move on, because time is our most valuable asset. So how do we, how do we grow time for ourselves? And a
Yeah.
business is a beautiful vehicle to do that. But a lot of entrepreneurs don't love numbers and they delegate numbers. And as
Yeah.
often as accountants are, if they're not business owners, they don't really know what's going on behind the scene.
Yes.
So,
100%.
and I've seen in the world of business where an accountant does his due diligence, does his work, wants to meet with the business owner, but he's busy on a call and he pushes him away. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And he looks at the piece of paper and he goes, okay, my numbers are positive. I'm fine. But he's missing the big picture. His numbers are positive, but he has to collect all their account receivables. And he has
Yes. That's
nobody on his team calling the customer to get paid. So then the cash flow gets affected. Then you're borrowing against a line of credit. And there goes your family vacation. There goes your kids' summer camp deposit.
right.
So these little nuances makes a big difference in the life of an entrepreneur and a business owner.
That is so true. You hit it right on the ball. Now, what's the number one money mistake that entrepreneurs make that creates stress at home?
I think one of the biggest mistakes they make is we're caught up in the world of you need capital. You need to inject capital in your business. You need a line of credit. And I'm not saying that we don't need it. I'm saying that we have to have clarity around this vehicle, because when we get caught up in hitting our line of credit, we're accumulating debt.
Yes.
And if we're not careful and we put our personal guarantees against this line of credit, and the moment that a COVID hits, that the businesses are closed and cash is not coming in,
Yeah.
now you're setting yourself up to fall into the rabbit hole, and you
Hmm.
don't want that, because if you're working so hard for all these different pillars in life, that all these goals in life, you don't want to tell your wife or your husband, hey, I put the house in collateral and I haven't been able to meet my line of credit. We
Hmm.
might go into foreclosure. No, nobody wants to get that news to their spouse. So we
Yeah.
have to be, if there's something I tell all the entrepreneurs, have your vision, have your energy, push forward. But how could you bootstrap a little bit without taking on extra debt? That
Yeah.
sometimes we say, the other day somebody asked me, the bank offered me $1 million to bring in 10 new people in the company. And I said, okay, but if you're not clear on what these 10 people are going to do, you
Right.
haven't identified the market, bringing 10 people in could take 3 years for you to accomplish this scale that you want. But the
Exactly.
bank gave you a year. So what happens after that year? And they
Right.
want your collateral. So that's where a financial person comes in, a CFO. For me, it's important to get another set of eyes on that big decision making in a business.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Now, how do you separate business money and family money so everyone knows what is what?
That is interesting because entrepreneurs love to charge their personal stuff to the business, and then it gets complicated at the end of the year. But
Yeah.
I always have a long-term, I always have long-term goals.
Hmm.
The business is my vehicle that's going to provide for this goal. So we have a business and we want to manage this business so it's profitable.
Yes.
And we want to be able to to write a check for ourselves every month because there's a lot
Hmm.
of entrepreneurs who do not even collect a check a month.
Right.
We want to collect a monthly check and we want to collect some upside at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then when this comes into your personal account, and then that's where you start thinking, okay, am I going to have what they call a SEP, like my own let's call it 401k. Am I going to create a 401k so I don't have to pay taxes? Am I going to do an IRA? Am I going to write off some of my home expenses because I do carry my work to my home? So that's when you
Right.
start getting you. It's not even creative because IRS wants you to IRS wants you to minimize your tax exposure.
Yeah.
But you need to understand this. These are two different entities. Even though it's one entity because it's the business owner, but
Yeah.
the way you manage your business is going to allow you to have this positive upside in your home. But then you
Right.
have to learn how to manage that money so that continues to grow as well.
Yes. That's so true. Now, if a listener is behind right now, what's the 24-hour clarity step that you want them to take?
I want them to celebrate themselves for having this energy and this vision to create something that can
Hmm.
transform the lives of so many customers, but
Yeah.
also to take a moment for themselves and just have a debriefing with themselves. Where am I? Am I where I want to be? Am where I'm supposed to be? And
Yeah.
what are my next steps to get to the level that I want to be? And one of them is our own wellness.
Yeah.
We don't want to burn out doing business. You want to enjoy business. That's why I always love the Disney model because
Hmm.
Disney creates magic. So
Yeah.
I tell my customers, how can you create magic in your business and in your life and make that contagious so everybody around you is on the same page?
I love that. I
So
love
once
that.
you're like in the wellness and you know where your business is going, and then you have goals for your family. Where are the kids going to go to school? Am I buying a second home to have a vacation home? Am I going to use that second home for passive income? Like you
Yeah.
can invest, you can take you had a great year. You were able to pay yourself every month. You were able to write yourself a check at the end of the year. Maybe it's time to buy that second home and rent it during the year and you use it in the summer. So now
Right.
you're getting monies coming in to pay the mortgage if you took a loan on it. So all these little things that we can Airbnb our home as well. If you let's say I have a friend who goes 2 months to Italy on vacation. She could
Hmm.
prepare a house and do an Airbnb in the summer to
Yeah.
her family. And somebody told me that we can exchange properties. There's a program where you can exchange properties as well. So there's so many things that we can do, but we need to get the systems, also
Mm.
our emotional side as well. I
Yes.
I don't know if you remember in elementary, we had the numerical line.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So if we take the number, we know that the positive are on the right and the negatives on the left. So I have a line. I say, okay, 0 is comfort.
Uh-huh.
And 5 is conviction. When you have conviction, you're unstoppable. But
Right.
when you're in comfort, if you get too comfortable, you might go in the other direction of fear, of not having clarity, of having doubt. So as
Yes.
business owners, we better stay. I love the next, it's comfort, curiosity, commitment, confidence, and conviction. So I love
Yes.
people to stay in the curiosity side. Be curious. How could I grow my business? Am I going to interject the knowledge industry in in the business? I mean, just
Yeah.
think about it. Anybody can do business now with a laptop and a cell phone and an internet and a Zoom account. But
Right.
you need to have the curiosity and you have to have the commitment to add that onto your business without the
Right.
burnout, without the burnout, maintaining the wellness. So it gets tricky, but it can be done.
Yes, it can be done. It can be done. It's that self-care. We have to give time for ourselves, and it's hard sometimes to do. But if we give a little bit of self-care, make some time out, whether it's in the morning or at night, it does help. It definitely helps.
But Stacey, even listening to your podcasts, the information that you're bringing to people, what it's spectacular. You can listen to your podcast while you're walking around your block and doing some exercise. So we need to start to bundle also our time. And this
Right.
is the beautiful thing that we can listen to podcasts and people that are bringing true messages, things that can change. You're bringing nuggets and information that could
Right.
transform people's lives just by listening to you. One idea that you provide to somebody can change a whole domino effect in a family.
Right. That's
So that's
true.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now, we're in the last quarter. What should business owners be focused on right now?
In the last quarter, I would have all your financial people creating a draft of a balance sheet and an income statement. Just
Hmm.
draft it out and forecast it. Okay, what's going to happen in December? Right
Hmm.
there, you're going to know what will be your tax implications for next year. What
Right.
can I do before the end of the year to lower that down? Maybe you've been planning to buy some equipment, or you have to invest in a consultant. You didn't want to charge, you didn't want to expense that this year, but you do need it to start a positive 226. So you
Yes.
call the consultant, you negotiate a price with him, you sign the contract in 225. It's an
Right.
expense because he can be working, then you can negotiate terms to pay him. He could start working now in 225 and you pay him. Maybe he'll collect his fees in 226. I mean, there's so much negotiation that you can do with a consultant. So this
Right.
is a time to prepare where you are right now and
Yeah.
start thinking, how am I going to reduce that impact, that tax impact? And I would also go a step further, and I wouldn't do budgets for 226. I would forecast the year. It has like more
Mm.
energy to it. Sometimes we put budgets and then we're managing a coffee expense or our UPS expense. No, let's look at a bigger picture. What can I do differently in 226 that will really have impact for my community?
Right.
Forecast it. It's a forecast. It's
Yeah.
energy. And then you're coming in with a different mindset than the
Yeah.
budget. I could only spend $200.
Right.
But what if it's 2,000, but that's going to bring another 500,000 of business to your company?
Right. Oh, I
But you got
love
to
that.
be on it. We got to be on the numbers.
Yes, yes. And I said to you earlier today, like I've talked to so many people and I've realized over the years how important numbers are. Until you really have your own business, until you're really trained to run your business, you don't realize how much numbers play an impact on everything. Everything. So, so true.
Even a decision to say, you know what? I've been working so many years. I want to be like these digital nomads that they go to, like, my daughter was telling me yesterday, Mom, we can work in Spain with our laptops. There's a
Yeah.
whole visa. There's a visa.
Hmm.
Just, just imagine you can do that if you understand your numbers.
Yes.
If you set up your whole business and you can take your laptop and transport yourself to another country, enjoy
Yeah.
their culture, their food, and you're educating yourself with these. Traveling for me is education.
Hmm.
But you're building your business at the same time, Plus, how many creative ideas are you going to get from that?
Yes.
So I think
That's
that's those are opportunities that we have as entrepreneurs and business people, and we just
yes,
got to take advantage of it.
we definitely do. We definitely do. Now, a lot of people do it's deductible spend in sprint in December. What's the problem with that?
There's no clarity. It's like it's 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 a little madness. I mean, if that's what it, you know what, if that's what it is, it's what it is. We gotta celebrate our entrepreneurs. They're doing the best they can. But it's November 7th. Put a
Yeah,
goal before Thanksgiving. You're going to have a preliminary balance sheet and income statement. Get your accountants involved, your bookkeepers. Give them
yeah,
some energy as well and work together as a team. And
right.
I'm telling you, when you work as a team, ideas come up. Maybe the
Yeah,
business owner is so overwhelmed, he doesn't realize that the balance sheet is recording a sale that he has not even delivered it.
right,
Maybe he doesn't have to recognize that income because the customer put it on hold. He never informed the accountant, and now there's like $1 million on the books. It's not going to happen in 225. You definitely want to roll that over to 226. You don't want to pay.
right.
You don't want to pay taxes on something that you have not that is not a real. Sometimes entrepreneurs like, oh, I sold $1 million. Yeah, but is this $1 million today, or is this a 3-year contract? If it's a 3-year
Right.
contract, we got to break this up in years. So
Yeah,
that's why when you work as a team, a lot of these things come up,
right.
and you can make decisions. So I love the power of decision making.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the power of decision making when you're in a team. And then I
Yes.
take the information and then I debrief myself and say, okay, Stacey said this, Lori said that. I think we're going in this direction. And then we reconvene again and say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is the direction we're going in. We're making like sound decisions.
Right.
And it's never going to be perfect because in business school, they taught us nothing is perfect. You're the creator.
Yeah.
We create.
Right.
I mean, who would have thought we were going to have podcasts like 20 years ago? This is fantastic.
Yeah.
And all the social media and Audible. I can listen to business books while I'm doing like bundling. I could do exercise and listen
Exactly.
to something. I can listen to you while I'm working. So it's
Right.
it's it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a beautiful time. And now with AI, which is another conversation.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. It's so true. Now, what's a smarter year-end rhythm revenue review expense audit? And what cash reserve? Like what, that's actually set up for January.
Well, everybody knows what every like if a lot of companies close. We have a lot of people on vacation in December. So it's
Yeah.
it's like a slow month. Everybody wants to do the holidays and vacation. So the
Yeah.
business owner must understand that in January, all his staff is coming back. And at some point, the 15th or the 30th of the month, he's going to write payroll checks. And
Yeah.
he already, so make a short list of, okay, what do I need for January?
Yeah.
The the rent of the office space if you have one, the
Hmm.
utility bills, the insurance payments, your Zoom license, whatever. Okay, make a list and
Right.
and and figure that out before. So you don't want to get in January is a brand new year. It's full of opportunities. You don't want
Yeah.
to start like, oh, I don't have enough cash to pay my
Right.
January expenses. Let's look at the account receivables
Right.
to collect, and let's be aggressive collecting. Or maybe there's a customer that needs your support and you could fit that deliverable in before the end of the year and collect it during the 225 so you can start using that working capital for 226.
Oh, I love that. I love that answer. Now, how do you talk to your family about the fourth quarter priorities without making it sound like we can't spend anything? Because, a lot of times I hear that. I hear it from my friends. I hear it. I hear it from a lot of people. It's like, okay, we got to tighten up. Do we really need that? Oh, I don't know. Do we have to spend that? Maybe we could reduce and get this instead of this. And you're used to living a certain way, and you're like, huh? Like, where did that come from? It's like, so, how do you talk to your family about fourth quarter priorities without making it sound like we can't spend anything and then freaking out the rest of the family?
Yeah, I think this starts with planning. and
Hmm.
clarity, not at the fourth quarter. Like we're going to do the fourth quarter, but we're actually doing the next 4 quarters of the 226.
Right, right, right.
When we have our eye on the target, you're not going to have to, you're going to take all these little gaps in your business, you're going to take them before the fourth quarter.
Right.
What I love to tell my family is, guys, we don't need any more clutter. Like this is another C that I'm going to add to my 5 C's is the clutter. Now the holidays are coming, and for some reason, everybody loves to gift other people things. And
Yeah.
yesterday, I was having a conversation with my daughter, and she says, "Mom, are we going to do the clutter at the end of the year?
Hmm.
We love ripping off presents,
Yeah.
but we got to put some of this stuff away." And I said
Right.
to her, "Create experiences."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna find, like last year they gifted me to do a vision board with some consultant online. And I thought it
Oh,
was fabulous. I had the best time with these
okay.
ladies. So we're gonna start looking into experiences for the end of the year for our gifts. And I think this is something that even business owners, that they're going to gift their employees or their team, to
Yeah.
think about that versus giving them a mug or, the pin, which is nice to have, but an
Yeah.
experience that your team can take to their home and share it with their families would be awesome.
Right. That is awesome. That
Yeah,
is
but
awesome.
spending, Stacey, I mean, we all love to spend, but sometimes just even getting away for a little bit, there's like a whole mindset shift.
Yeah, there is. There
Because
really is.
if we think about spending, it takes time, takes money, takes energy.
Hmm.
Wellness takes time and
Yeah.
takes energy. So it's always shifted to wellness. Many years ago, I've read online a lady, and I know I saved the PDF. I can't find it on my computer. It will pop up when it's ready to pop up. She says to throw away 27 things a day
Wow.
for 9 days.
Hmm.
And she says it could be a pin, it could be a paper. So
Okay.
I know when I'm aligned, that I'm grounded, when I wake up, that I'm going to get rid of 27 things. So I've been
Mm.
in my closet, not throwing away. I put it in bags. I want to donate it to somebody who can use it.
Yeah.
But I say to myself, I know that it's the end of the year and I'm aligned with myself because I'm doing every day I'm doing the 27 things. And I'm
Yeah.
finding envelopes of 2 or 3 years ago. Like, why am I saving that? Why did I save
Exactly.
it? It doesn't make any sense. And you just take the letters come in, the mail, you put in a magazine and you put on your desk.
Yeah.
I would love your audience to think about at the end of the 225, how can we get rid of some clutter? And then
Right.
27 thing a day functions. It works for
Yeah.
me, and I love it
I
because
feel
it
like,
clarity and a mindset. There's a shift there. And then when I do
yeah.
that, I go work out with I don't have to negotiate with my mind to go work out. For some reason, when I declutter, my mind takes me to the gym. Like it's
Yeah.
automatic. I don't know why, but
Mhm.
there's some energy there.
It is. It is so true. When I declutter, I feel focused. I just feel it like my whole mind shifts, changes completely. When the less clutter I have in my office, the less clutter I have in my home, the more calmer, the more clarity, the more focus I have. I notice that.
So this is a beautiful concept for business owners and entrepreneurs. Let's get rid of the clutter in our own business. Let's not make finance complicated. Let's make it
Yeah.
simple. Very simple.
Mhm.
We know we need cash.
Yes.
We know that we need to collect monies
Hmm.
owed to us, and we know that we have to manage our expenses and our investments in the business because hiring a consultant is an investment. It's an
Yeah.
expense. It's going to be expense, but it's an investment for growth. So let's
Right.
just get rid of the clutter. And there's a lot of systems out there. There's CRMs and accounting softwares. But you know what? Excel is a perfect place to document things.
Yes. Hmm.
We don't have to really complicate things. We can, and another advice for the audience is your taxes are your taxes.
Yes.
You prepare your draft for your
Hmm.
accountants.
Right.
You need to know what's on there, and you need to be ready to. I met a woman in one of Tony Robbins events. I'm a Tony Robbins alumni as well. And she said, it's dentist. And we were at Business Mastery. She's saying, I'm terrified of these accountants because last year they had me pay all this money and I don't even know how much I'm going to pay. And I said, ma'am, because you don't go there for the surprise. You should know what that number is going to be, give or take, roughly.
Yeah.
And those, if we get rid of the clutter of the fear of the accountant or of the IRS and just say, okay, this is my business. I know what my sales look like. These are my expenses. This is my net profit or my net loss. And
Right.
don't be afraid of a net loss. They're great because that
Hmm.
means you don't pay taxes that year and you can
Yeah.
roll that loss over for another year when you have a positive. I mean, some people get,
Right.
oh, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. What are we going to do in the fourth quarter to make it a positive? You know, when you ask the question of the fourth quarter, that's a reason sometimes the fourth quarter people are trying to do crazy things because they want to have they want to have profits.
Yeah.
But you know what? If it wasn't a profitable year, it wasn't a profitable year. And then you take that for next year against your profit. So we can't be,
Exactly.
I mean, we don't want to have losses because some of us want to exit our business and we know that they're going to look at our financial statements.
Hmm.
But again, it's okay. If you're the business owner and you think, you know what, it's okay. I'm not going to borrow this year from the bank. I'm not planning on purchasing a home. It's
Right.
okay. It's okay because that's going to benefit you for the following year when you do have some
Exactly.
profit.
Exactly. What numbers should every business owner look at monthly from now through the end of the year?
Cash, cash and payables
Yeah.
and the receivables, of course. If you know, and business owners are getting savvier now. They're not giving these 30, 60 days lines of credit to their customers. You know, they want to get paid in 10 days, 15 days, 30 days. And don't be afraid if you're a professional service provider,
Yeah.
you know, lawyers would not give you an hour of their time if you don't pay a retainage. So
Right.
you have to get a little bit creative on how we collect
Yeah.
some of the fees up front, if that's something that your market allows you to do. There's a lot of courses online. If you don't pay up front, you're not going to get the course.
Right.
So yes, cash, account receivables, accounts payable, and expenses.
I
That's
love that.
and obviously job costing as well. If you're working on a project and you're putting hours in there, you
Hmm.
need to manage the cost of any project that you have.
Yes. 100%. Now let's talk taxes. What can people do now before December 31st to lower their 2025 tax bill?
IRAs, depending on how much income you have an IRA opportunity. You have, if you're a professional service, you can do your own pension plan, and IRS allows you to put 20 to 25% of your gross earnings. And people
Hmm.
sometimes say, but I don't have that amount of money to do that. I'm like, well, whatever amount you have. So
Right.
it's not nothing or all. It could be in the middle.
Yeah.
The same with the IRA. You don't have to put a 5 or 6, 7,000 IRA. You can do less than that. You do what you have, but you start
Yeah.
building that muscle. You start creating leverage for the
Mhm.
next year, for the next year. And then 3 years later, you understand the whole concept and you're ready. So those are your goals for the year because you're saving taxes. That's a
Yeah.
way of saving.
Yeah. I love
And then
that
if you
answer.
work from home, you know, you could put you have different expenses that you're allowed to take, utilities, intern, there's all these expenses that happen in the home. You identify a space in your home for your home office, and you
Hmm.
could write a lot of those expenses off as well. And you could work for a company and also have what we call a side gig,
Yeah.
and that allows you to take some expenses off as well, deductions as well.
Oh, that's great to know.
Stacey, it's about being informed. I mean, nobody's hiding this information from anybody. It's all, if you go to the IRS site, it's all there.
Right. The problem is most people don't go to the IRA site, so IRS site.
And now with AI, you could find something and then take it to AI and they could simplify it. If the language is too complicated, you can tell the AI, "Hi, could you put this in an eighth grade language or a 14-year-old language?" And
Yeah,
then it could come back a little bit easier so people can start digesting it.
exactly. Now, what's the most commonly missed deductions or strategies for small business owners?
Their time, they're working for free. They don't even register their time. Even if they
Yeah,
don't get paid, you can still submit your monthly invoice and record that on your books because that is a legitimate expense. You are working for
yeah,
your business. You're allowed to accrue that expense. And they said, well, then I'm going to be in a negative. And I'm like, well, but it's important for you to understand that because that means your marketing is not covering your salary.
yeah,
So for me, it's run the business as a business because at the end of the every quarter, you want to see those numbers.
yes,
Like if your expenses are $20,000 a month, you got to make sure you're bringing in 30, 25,000 to
yeah,
cover.
exactly. Now, how should people think about paying themselves, like salary draws and distributions? Like, what should they do so there's no surprises? Like you just explained that. Is there anything else they need to know?
Well, like if you're a corporate person and you decided to leave corporate to come work and create your own business,
Hmm.
you know that it was not only your salary, it was your medical insurance, your vacation, your sick leave, all the trainings that your corporate environment was giving you, the
Hmm.
travel. So you got to come up with, okay, how much, like, what is a reasonable salary for me as a CEO in this business?
Yeah,
And then you have to that's an expense that the company has. So
right.
it's I see this all the time. They're in business and some people are selling things really inexpensive just to get people coming in. And they're working more than they did in the corporate office. But
Yeah,
we have to be clear on who our right fit customer is. And that right fit customer is going to want to do business with you. So you
yes,
have to go out there and find them because if you come from the corporate office, you have a certain set of skills
yeah,
that are needed in different industries. So don't sell yourself short
right.
and figure out what is it that I really need to to have on a monthly basis, not only
Yes,
for my business but for my home. Here comes the home part.
yeah.
Here comes
Hmm.
the home part. We need to cover both.
Right. I love that. I love that answer. Now, what should we be talking about to our accountant right now instead of waiting for April?
Our accountants have to prepare the
Hmm.
forecasts, and we have to have a commitment from the accountant that at the end of the month, those statements have to be ready. And right now, with the way the banking industry works, you could literally be preparing internal financial statements every week if you wanted to,
Yeah.
and looking at them. But as a CEO,
Hmm.
use a spreadsheet every time you have a sale. Like my husband has his business and he has everything on this beautiful template of spreadsheet. He knows everything. When I present financial statements, he already knows in a ballpark what his revenue were, what his expenses were, because
That's
he doesn't leave it to chance. I mean, I guess the message is here, let's not leave things to chance and
yes.
let's record things somewhere that it's visual to the business owner, who's the one that's making ultimately all the decisions.
Right.
The business owner knows that he has like another thing happening, which is home
Yeah.
base over here, and there's expectations over here. You
Right.
know, they like I said, they want to go on a family vacation, they want to remodel their home. The kids are going to college, they want to invest in their second home. So how do
Right.
you fit all that? It starts from the vehicle of the business and the
Yeah.
vision and the focus and the
Hmm.
conviction. When you have conviction, you're unstoppable. But you need
Yes.
you need the systems as well.
100%. Now, you mentioned starting in 2026 with energy. How do fitness and finance actually connect?
Oh, if you have energy and energy is everything. And in the
Hmm.
Tony Robbins world, he will share with you a triangle. And he
Hmm.
says, energy, your state, you cannot allow negative, you cannot allow the noise of the news or the newspaper to take you out of your state. And the
Yes.
language you talk to yourself. You must and you will. It's
Yes.
not, I can, let me see if I can. No, no, no. You must and you will. And why,
Hmm.
and energy is number one. And that's why if you've been to Tony Robbins events, he puts a lot of music. He has us jumping out of our seats to keep that energy in the state. And
Yes.
when you learn how to energize yourself, hydration, sometimes
Hmm.
we're tired because we haven't had a glass of water.
Yeah.
So just like waking up in the morning with gratitude, ready to go, like nobody's gonna knock you down with that conviction.
Yeah.
And then you do everything we've learned. Thanks to technology, we're all learning these things, the green juice, the matcha tea and the water. And there's a lot of supplements out there that help us get our energy, but we can't sacrifice our energy for anything because
Yes.
that's abundance and that's going to give you longevity in life and in business.
Yes. I love that answer. Now, Neil said listeners were promised 5 concrete actions. Would you share 5 things that they can do this week to get control of their fourth quarter and set up 2025?
Yes, but let's start first with the five. I said 5 things and start with the 5 C's. I would
Okay.
love you guys to write them down. Comfort goes to curiosity, commitment, confidence, and conviction. And when
Yeah.
you're in confidence, there's so many layers of confidence. And if you're not paying attention to the triangle that we just talked about, the state, the language, it's so easy to bump back to comfort. And we
Yes.
don't want that. So to do all the shifts that we want to do in 2026, draw that 5C somewhere. And when you're
Yeah.
feeling unease, you say, I got to go back to curiosity. You got to move forward in that chain. And then we
Yeah.
have to do the systems.
Yeah.
We need to have a system. We don't have to complicate it. It could be an Excel. It could be in a pad. I mean, I don't want people doing things manually because we can mix up adding up the numbers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
have our system. I mean, there's so many apps out there with systems. You can even have an accounting software in your office and then look at it in your app.
Yes.
You want to manage your receivables. Do
Hmm.
people owe me money? Can I shorten the receivable collection?
Yeah.
How do I increase my revenue? Just
Hmm.
think about it. What marketing strategy can I have to increase my sales?
Right.
Can I manage a growth next year without adding more people?
Right.
How can I incorporate technology and AI into my business so I don't have to continue to add more people?
Right.
And create a happy business. This is your vision. This is the era
Yeah.
where we get to create our
Yeah.
vision and put it in a business. This is
Right.
the this is a gift. So
Hmm.
let's live in a happy place. Don't let anybody stress you out. Accountants or tax lawyers, we don't want stress. We
Yeah.
get to choose the people we work with,
Right.
people who have experience.
Yes.
I have experience in business. My husband and me have been in business for over 30 years. We have kids. They went through the university process. Like
Hmm.
our parents depend on us.
Yeah.
Even, even if they're wealthy, they want to have us close. So,
Hmm.
so part of when we're forecasting what's happening in 2026, where do our
Yeah.
parents live? Are we going to visit them twice next year, 3 times? Are we going to
Right.
fly them in? Do we fly them into our home so we don't have to go there? How do we
Right.
manage our time?
Yeah.
And how do we manage our wellness? Sleep is important. Hydration is important. We got to get rid of distractions and clutter.
Yes.
And there's a new movement out there. If you're over 40, we gotta make sure that we're lifting weights. We got to maintain that muscle.
Yes.
That is the secret to longevity. So
Hmm.
we're so lucky that we have access to all this stuff right now.
Yes.
All these
100%.
doctors that take their time to go online and speak to us.
Hmm.
So look, there's so much to do. And for me, start saving, start compounding. If you can pull just that's $5,000 from your business and just put it in a money market, just
Yeah.
so you know you can and that you will and that you must. And
Yes.
maybe that becomes a $25,000 money market and next
Right.
year's 50 and then wow, and then you forget it's there. And then one day you think,
Exactly.
wow, I have $100,000. Even forgot about it. And it's making 5%. So I'm getting
Mhm.
2,500 back.
Right.
That's my gym membership, or wow, that's a vacation to Disney, whatever, whatever you want to use it for. So I
Yeah.
mean, I could go on and on. There's so many things that we can do. Reading, we gotta personal growth.
Hmm.
We gotta invest in ourselves. Learning,
Yes.
learning is learning is forever. We can't stop
Yes.
learning. Mobility is important. Stretching. If you can't do exercise, do a little bit of stretching.
Right.
Eat healthy. Let's stop eating this processed food. We don't need it. And
Exactly.
it goes on and on, Stacey.
It does. It
But for
does.
2026, focus on growth. I would tell people focus on growth. Focus on your energy and any fear or insecurities as humans that we sometimes have. Let's just say, okay, I understand this is the past, but going forward, we're in a
Yes.
positive energy growth. We're helping others. This podcast will help somebody, or at
Yeah.
least twinkle something that say, you know what, I really need to sit with my accountant. Maybe
Right.
the purpose of this podcast is for all the entrepreneurs to say, you know what, I'm paying my bookkeeper. I literally don't talk to them. I think I'm gonna invite them in the office before the end of the year, and let's see where we're at. And no more surprises.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love it. I love it. This has been amazing. Tell everybody where they can find you and tell them about all the different services that you provide.
They can find me at my name, nilsasantiago.com. There's no spaces. And there's an opportunity for a clarity call to answer more questions. And there's a lead magnet in there. And I'm preparing for next year a coaching program, a short coaching program, not to overwhelm people, to excite people, to say, you
Mhm.
know what? This is the year 2026 that I'm going to get some of these concepts. I'm going to understand them and I'm going to incorporate them in my life. We don't need overwhelm. We don't
Mhm.
need burnout.
Yes.
We need progress. We need to move forward. And
Hmm.
this movement that I'm creating, this mission is to get all the opportunity, all is to give all the entrepreneurs the opportunity to have growth and finance. And if
Yeah.
any uncertainty shows up in our lives, because it's about peaks and valleys, right?
Yes.
You're ready for that. You're like, there's a COVID, no problem. I can use
Right.
time to work out, to declutter
Hmm.
my house, to read
Yeah.
books, to hang
Hmm.
out with my wife and my kids and start. We have cooking books here, and we're always like, oh, let's do this recipe this weekend.
Yes.
It's just spark, and the 5C spark that curiosity and then
Hmm.
commit to it. And then
Yes.
conviction comes automatic, and then you're unstoppable. I want all the entrepreneurs to be unstoppable because
I
you're
love that.
changing the world. All of you are changing the world.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I love it. I love it. This has been amazing, Nilsa. I'm so glad you came on the show. And you're so knowledgeable, you have so much wisdom, and you make it fun too. You do take off the stress, because it can be very stressful. As soon as you hear the word taxes, you're like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, how much am I gonna pay? And da 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 da. And then everything it gets overwhelming for a lot of people. And you just have a way of making it simple, breaking it down, and I love what you do, and I really admire, your knowledge in when it comes to accounting and how you break everything down and make everything so simple and not so complex.
Well, I'm a human. I'm not a computer, and that's amazing that when I talk to business owners and they sometimes they want to put their balance sheet in front of me, I put it aside. I want to know the person.
Yeah.
What is your vision with your business? How can we make this business better? Versus
Yes.
start looking at numbers and saying, "Oh, no, this is human. These are real people putting in
Yes.
their real time to do something positive." So we have to look at that first before we even start getting into numbers. Yeah, I mean, I believe so much in business owners and entrepreneurs. I think they're amazing. And there's some
Mhm.
charts that Goldman Sachs shares with us. They're the ones that hire literally the most people.
Hmm.
You take all these business owners, there's millions of them, and
Hmm.
little and they're the backbone, what they call it, the backbone of the United States economy. Because
Wow.
each of them are doing a little bit of something that's
Yeah,
moving the needle forward.
I love that. I love that. This has been amazing, Nilsa. I thank you so much for being on the show today. I can't wait to have you back and we could talk more because there's so many things that we can cover when it comes to numbers. And I thank you so much. You're amazing.
Thank you. And I thank you so much for putting yourself out there with the advisor with Stacey Chillemi. I love it. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Stacey. Have a great weekend.
Oh, you too. You have a great weekend too.